Hey, Lehman Upfit here, and today we've got a cheap lift kit for you. Cheaper anyway. This guy's kind of on a budget, and here's what we got. We've got his JLU Willys here. I think it's a 21. A little dark right there. But we're doing a 3.5-inch Teraflex base spring kit with some Falcon 1.1s and some cheap 35s that he found on the internet for himself. So no guarantees on these cheap tires, but they were cheap, like $1,200 I think he said for 5 35s. That's cheap. I don't have anything here for that much money, but we're gonna get it pulled in. He's gonna do a spare tire delete to save even more money, not having to raise that one up, and he'll be able to just keep it at home. So we're gonna get these off of there. Look at them. Them are chopping up pretty good. They got 41,000 miles on them. So people always say a lot of this stuff's expensive, so this is going to be a more budget-friendly one. So let's get it in, get it torn down. All right, so parts list on this thing. Here's what we got, and at the end, I'll price it all out for you. You can see it's a little more budget-friendly, or a lot, depends what you're used to. So here's what he's got. He opted for 3.5-inch Teraflex, so he's got rear springs, track bar riser, bump stops, Teraflex 1.1s. These are non-rebuildable 1.1s. Some people prefer other shocks. Nice shock for the money. Hardware kits, bump stops for the front, sway bar end links for the front. It's got sway bar end links for the rear too. Track bar bracket, front springs, and Falcon 1.1s for the front. And then we got some sport arms here, which are 1/4 inch longer than your factory ones to give you more caster. And then he wanted an aftermarket front drive shaft. So here's that. Oh yes, I almost forgot about these tires. I do not know how these are going to hold up. These are not me. Something he found himself. Let me show them to you here. What are these things? Some Mud Claw Comp MTX. Not sure about them, but there they are. They were cheap. I won't sell a set to you, but if you hop online, you might be able to find them. He said they were $1,200 for all 5. So we'll see how these balance out. They might take $60 worth of weight each. Who knows? So I'll get to those. I'll show you when we get there. For now, Seth's going to get this one up in the air. I'm going to move this tripping hazard out of the way. We're going to get started. So just a couple minutes later, really, we got all the front takeoff parts right there. So that must mean the new ones are on the front, and they are. Here's your Falcon 1.1s for 3.5 inches of lift. Your Falcon Sport Arms, non-adjustable. We just wanted it for caster, and he was trying to keep budget friendly. You got your Teraflex 3.5 spring, got your extended sway bar end link, and your track bar riser. And that is, oh yeah, and your bump stops. 3 inches of bump stop for 35s on sport flares. So that is all you get for the front at this price point. Now the rears, still here. We'll get those torn off here and hopefully get that done before lunch because I'm hungry. And I still got to put his front shaft in. I've already got the old shaft out and the new yoke on the transfer case. So it's there ready to go. Gets rid of that Zeppa joint. Gives us a double cardan like we've talked about before. Double cardan, you get 2 U-joints here to spread the angle out. So we'll get cracking on that. Then eat some lunch because I'm hungry. So we had lunch before we tackled the rear, but it's done. So parts pile got bigger, and on the rear here, oh, we had cheeseburgers for lunch. Thanks for asking. But on the rear here, Teraflex 3.5 springs. Again, the Falcon 1.1 cheap Falcons, extended sway bar end links, and bump stops. We won't put the bump stops in until we get it on the alignment rack. It makes it for the bump stop in the way you can't get to this bolt here on this control arm to tighten it up. And we won't tighten up any bushings until we get it on the alignment rack and it's sitting on its own weight, and then we'll hit all these bushings and tighten them all back up. So now we're gonna get it out on the ground, get these cheap 35s on it and see what it looks like. All right, come on down, Seth, the moment of truth. They always look so much better with any amount of lift in them. Even with a sport flare, we still got plenty of room on there. Wrangler on 35s looks so much better than a Wrangler on 31s. Next stop, alignment rack, get it torqued, get it squared up, then get it on a test drive. So after I went home last night, Seth stayed and got all the bolts torqued on this JL here and got it on the alignment rack. So now we're about to square it up, check everything out, caster sweep, all that, get set up. and take it for a test drive. So I'm about to fire that up right now, get everything on this thing ready to go. Got this 21 JL all done now. I'm driving it. These Teraflex springs, I always say they're the closest thing to a factory ride. Some springs ride better, some springs ride worse. I think the Teraflex ones they're the closest thing to a factory ride. The only thing on this one, this tires that he got on his own, they are a load range F. That is a 12 ply. That is a serious heavy duty tire. Way more than I would ever put on my my Wrangler, or recommend you stick on yours. But they were cheap, so I bought them. But they're gonna ride harsh. It's just, that's a 12 ply tire. That's what they are. But it drives good. Shocks are nice. For a bang for the buck, these shocks are, what, 460 bucks, I think. I'll get you some pricing here in a second. Like I said, I'll figure you out exactly what it costs to do this lift, and I think this is a good budget-friendly solution if you're just trying to fit a bigger tire, especially a 35 or something, and you're not going to do any wheeling. You just want to drive your Jeep around and it's ride similar to how it did. So I'm going to bring it back, I'll show it to you, and then we'll get some numbers. So here it is. This is just the Teraflex 3.5-inch base kit with their sport lower arms. So they're a 1/4 inch longer. Boom. And the Falcon 1.1s that you never really hear about. But it looks a lot better. He's got room for all that 35 all day long, even with a sport fender. So looks so much better than it did just with the Willys package on there. Like them a lot. He wanted to keep his factory wheels, so they do have a spacer on there. I'm not a spacer lover, and I know a lot of people aren't spacer lovers, but that's what he wanted, so that's what he's got. So let's head inside and I will show you what it costs to make this happen. All right, so we're in the office now in my not natural habitat. So this kit here, this is a Teraflex 1356000 4-door 3.5-inch base kit, 695 bucks for the lift. Let you see that there. Boom, that's what you get. This side we showed, 695 bucks. And then for shocks, we do the Falcon 1.1s. There's all the high dollar sweet Falcons. 460 bucks. Awesome shocks for $460. And then we got control arms, just for some sport lowers, so we can get some caster dialed into these things. And you can get more caster than stock because of the fact that you got an aftermarket drive shaft. Here we go, 231 bucks. So for 695, 460, and 231, that's as budget as it gets, guys. As far as decent ride, you can get some rough country stuff, I can sell you that cheaper, but people are asking for something cheap that still rides like stock, and they're not going to off-road. I think this is a pretty good solution. So we have all this stuff here. It's anything you need, come get it. Again, like and subscribe. Let us know what you think about this. Have a good one.